Hey guys, this is Ben for Kombu, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy Gear. That's their attempt at a smartwatch. What is a smartwatch? Well, we're going to find out. So the first thing that strikes you about the Galaxy Gear is that this is very much a product that doesn't look like it's been made by Samsung. It uses real metal, it's got this curved glass on the front, the band is a really nice rubberized material, the clasp is metal as well, the plastic on the back doesn't feel as awkward as, the Galaxy line of smartphones. It feels like a premium product. So there's not much in the way of physical buttons. Everything on the watch is controlled with touch gestures, but there is a power button, which you can use to turn the display on like that, or you can assign a specific function using the gear manager on your smartphone. So if I double tap, for example, it'll open up the camera, but you can switch that to pretty much whatever you want. There's also a 1.9 megapixel camera built into the wristband, and this is probably the worst bit of the design of the Galaxy Gear. It just completely feels out of place when you can take into consideration just about everything else. It's this ugly little hump in the strap. I appreciate it needs to be this big to be able to get decent pictures. It kind of feels like there's a better way to do this, like maybe the camera could have been built into the face somehow at the right angle, something to consider. Maybe Samsung will be able to get this right for the second generation. So actually using the device, it's pretty simple. This is the default screen that you'll get. You just get the clock along with the date and the weather, but you can change the watch face to whatever you want using the gear manager on the Galaxy Note 3 or the Galaxy Tablet 2014 edition. Moving between all your different apps is pretty simple. It's just swiping, everyone knows how to do that. But the design of the apps, the icons especially, it's not old Samsung. Compare it to what you find on the Galaxy S4 or the Note 3 with traditional TouchWiz. Here it's very simple, it's very clean. You've got these like little folded edges around the apps, very un-Samsung-like. It's good to see them simplifying things and doing something different with the design. It really looks much better than what they've been doing recently. So just going through all the different things, you have notifications, for example, which will tell you anything that's popped up on your phone recently, like Gmail messages, Google Hangouts. It doesn't pull up anything on the phone, but it will open the necessary email on your phone once you action it on the watch. So you can't get a whole host of information on the watch. It's more of a companion rather than a standalone device. There's the gallery where you can go in and look at all your pictures. A little bit of a drawback is that you have menus. And I don't know about you, I'm not a huge fan of having menus on my watch. But there you go, you can go in, you can change all the different clock faces in here. You can also adjust all your sound settings. There is actually a speaker, it's in the clasp, pretty small, pretty quiet, doesn't work particularly well. My advice, just leave the watch on vibrate. The vibrate's very strong. I don't really think you need audio alerts as such, but you can change everything in here if you really want to. You have ringtones for any phones that come through to the watch, notifications as well, and you can change the vibration settings. And if you want to wear it on your right hand like I am, you can change that there. And of course, if you really, really want to, you can make a phone call on this thing. All you need to do is swipe up, and you'll get the interface to make a phone call. And it works. It works like it makes a phone call on your watch. There's two microphones on either side. There's one here, and there's one on the other side as well. And of course, the speaker is built into the clasp. The only problem is that the speaker is way, way too quiet. You'd have to be in a totally silent room to be able to conduct a normal conversation. So the only major problem with the Gear is it's just not smooth. If you go through the interface, it just has this tangible lag that you can see. It's not smooth, and I don't understand why. It's an 800 megahertz processor. If you look at the iPod Nano, for example, that has a much lower processor, much more graphically intense, but that's perfectly smooth. I just don't get it. Just doing anything, pulling up the camera, for example, it's a little bit of a delay, doing certain things, going into certain notifications. It's not as smooth as it could be. I think Samsung can do a better job here. Right now, the Galaxy Gear only works with two specific Samsung devices, the Note 3, which is shipping alongside the Gear, and the Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition. Now, the tablet, not so useful. The Note makes complete sense to pair it as a companion device to the phone. And it ships with the Gear Manager, where you can change all the various settings here, probably more quickly than you could on the watch. For example, you can pick the various watch faces. There's different settings for all of those, of course. If you wanted to change, for example, on the dual clock, what time zones you wanted on there. There's also a good look at what apps you have installed on the phone, and you can rearrange where they appear on the phone as well. And Samsung also gives you some feature suggestions if you want to install some new things. There's also a really handy setting called Find My Gear. So if you've taken the watch off and you don't know where it's gone, you can hit that, and then an alert will come up on the watch telling you where it is, and hopefully you'll find it. So should you buy the Galaxy Gear? Well, you should under very specific circumstances. If you like the idea of wearable devices and the idea of what a smartwatch could be, yes, but only if you own a Samsung Galaxy S4 or a Note 3 or a Note 10.1 2014 edition, because it doesn't work with any other Android devices on the market, and that really is the crucial deal breaker. I really, really like this watch. I just don't want to use it with one of Samsung's phones. I think there's too much variation out there. I think Sony, HTC, LG, they're all doing interesting things this year. So to limit it to Samsung specifically, I understand that they want to lock you into their ecosystem and try and provide a good experience, but the ecosystem isn't there. The experience isn't there right now. So it's interesting to see Samsung come this far, because this is a really well-designed product. It feels like a premium product. It just doesn't have the phone to back it up.